Welcome to Kenny's Reviews. Today we're continuing our environmentally friendly streak with another hybrid. This is the 2019 Ford Fusion Energi Titanium. The Ford Fusion is the last car to survive in Ford's car lineup, not including the Mustang and the GT, of course. It's a bittersweet feeling knowing that Ford is going to stop making cars, because this car here is a prime example of how great Ford cars can be. However, it makes sense, because if you look around at the roads of today, all you see are SUVs or pickup trucks. Let's talk about a little bit of history of the Ford Fusion. The Ford Fusion got its start in 2006. It was placed right between the smaller Focus and the larger Taurus. It was the first Ford to feature the 3-bar Ford grille, which is ironic that there was a Ford emblem anywhere on the car because it was mainly designed by Mazda, including the platform, 2 of the engine options, and 3 of the 4 transmission options. As you can tell, this was clearly a groundbreaking achievement for Ford's engineering. Several years, 3 recalls, and a lawsuit later, the second generation came out in 2013. Compared to the last generation, this Fusion is slightly bigger. And although the car got bigger as a whole, the trunk somehow got smaller. This was the first car ever to be offered in 3 different variations, being the gas-only, the hybrid, and the plug-in hybrid option. For 2020, they condensed their trims and got rid of their best trim that they offered, the Sport trim. They packed a 2.7-liter EcoBoost engine, which is also offered on the Ford Edge ST. This generation beat the last already, with 4 recalls to date. Paint color on this car is rich copper metallic with 18-inch alloy wheels. You can pick up a 2019 Ford Fusion Energi Titanium like this for about $20,000 used or $30,000 new. As you can see from the trims, if you care about the environment a little bit less, you can buy the hybrid version. If you don't care about the environment at all, there's several gas-only options for your choosing. Of course, when buying a hybrid, the first thing you care about is what's under the hood. Here's a list of all the engine options. If you opt for the front-wheel drive version, that's gas-only, you're going to get a 16.5-gallon fuel tank. All-wheel drive, you're going to get an 18-gallon fuel tank. The Energi or the hybrid version, you're going to get a 14-gallon fuel tank. All gas-only versions get a 6-speed auto, whereas the Energi and the hybrid get an eCVT. It takes about 2.5 hours to charge this car on 240 volts, which is common at most charging stations, or it takes about 7 hours to charge it at home with your 120 volt outlet, the same outlet you use to charge your phone, and you only get about 26 miles of range.
Now let's talk about what it's like to drive. I took a 3,000-mile road trip in this car, and I gotta say the most glaring thing of this car is how comfortable the suspension was. It was soft when you went over bumps, but still tight in the corners. A big factor in how a car drives for me is how responsive the steering wheel is. In this one, you feel connected to the road, you can feel the feedback in the steering wheel. It doesn't give you that floaty feeling that some cars give you. Instead of a spare tire, it comes with a fix-a-flat system, which in most cases will work fine. However, in a full-blown blowout, don't even try using it. Call a tow truck, sit there, and wait. Another thing I noticed is how similar to size the volume and the gear selector knob are. That can create a really fun story if you try to turn down the volume in a hurry. My biggest complaint with this car is that it has too many buttons. On the steering wheel alone, there are 22 buttons that the driver can press. Over for climate control, everything's controlled by buttons, no dials in sight. Also, the car feels really cheap. As you can see, the sunglass holder's about as cheap as they come. The buttons feel tacky. And when you close the doors, it really doesn't make a great sound. This car does a great job of keeping the occupants comfortable. As you can see, there's heated and cooled seats in the front, dual zone climate, as well as 10-way power leather adjustable seats in the front. However, all this comfort's useless really, because by the time you figure it out, you're definitely going to be in a crash, and you're not going to be too comfortable when you're sitting in the back seat of somebody else's car. Say you wanted to change the blower motor from blowing from your face to your feet. You'd look here for your buttons, wouldn't find them. You'd have to go in through the touchscreen, go into climate, and then select it. The seats and mirrors have 2 memory positions available, 1 and 2. As you can see, the mirror moves automatically, and the seat's adjusting as well. The sound system in this car is fantastic, which isn't surprising because it's made by Sony, and it has 12 speakers.
This car comes with keyless access, which doesn't have a button, instead it just uses your hand. This is lock, this is unlock, as well as Ford's keypad built in if you forget your key. Another cool feature of this car is you can open all the windows and close all the windows with just a remote. So as you can see here, I press the unlock button once and hold it, and then all the windows will drop. If I wanted to close the windows, I'd press the lock button once, hold it, and all the windows will rise. To keep you from looking at the road, you have an 8-inch screen over here, as well as 2 screens over here for the driver to look at. The one on the left, you can change your driving assist, and the one on the right is kind of useless stuff, such as your entertainment, navigation, and fuel efficiency. This car has a great backup camera with dynamic guidelines, as well as proximity sensors over here, so you don't back into things, as well as this useless zoom feature right here. To be honest, I really don't know what that's used for. Maybe backing up this Ford Fusion Energi to a trailer, but I doubt it. This Fusion comes with Ford's Driving Assist Suite, Copilot 360 Assist. This comes with things like adaptive cruise control, auto high beams, lane keeping assist, a blind spot indicator, as well as pre-collision assist. To make nighttime driving easier, it has an auto-dimming rear view, as well as driver side mirror. For those who don't like to bother with their wipers, they are rain sensing. In the back seat, it comes with inflating seat belts, as you can see here from this little graphic. When you plug it in, if you get in a crash, this inflates to distribute the energy more evenly. This reduces injury to the passengers in the rear, because the people in the front don't really matter anyways, right? Since it's a hybrid, it has regenerative braking, which means when you press the brakes, it charges the battery up. Also, because it's a hybrid, it's got this giant battery in the trunk here. As you can see, this leaves no space for really anything else. Maybe a couple of groceries, but certainly not other things that you may need to put in the trunk. Underneath the mat in the back here, you're going to find the fix-a-flat system I talked about earlier, as well as the plug that they give you from the factory. They say that you can't use this plug with an extension cord, so if this doesn't reach from your house to your car, tough. It comes with different driving modes, such as this EV, which only runs on electric when you turn it on, and this hill descent control, which controls your speed going down a hill and maximizes your regenerative braking. On this screen, the car will show you leaves to show how efficiently you've been driving. The more leaves you collect, the better you've been driving. All this hybrid information is great because it doesn't matter if you rear-end someone as long as you return 100% energy to your car, right? It also comes with this PowerFlow app over here, which is common on most hybrids. It shows you where the power is coming from in the car and how it's getting to the wheels. The strong suits for this car is that it's comfortable from the ride to the seats. It's got a lot of technology from the climate control to the driving assist. It gets excellent miles per gallon. I averaged about 46 miles per gallon, but it's supposed to get about 103 if you charge it up all the time. It's safe with all the driving assist again, as well as the inflating seat belts in the rear. The climate control works excellently in this car, so long as you can figure it out. And the car handles great. Like I said, the steering wheel is very responsive and the ride is tight. Where it falls short is its confusing climate control layout. It's got way too many buttons to distract you from driving. Because of the battery in the back, there's almost no cargo space to put anything that you need. This is certainly not a family car. It's cheap build quality, as I said, with the door, the sunglass holder, and the button. And it's pretty much unable to pass other cars because of how slow it is. The purpose of a hybrid is simple. It's supposed to get you from A to B with minimum power, maximum miles per gallon, and leave you enough space here on the trunk to put stickers about saving the earth or whatever else you pretend to care about. When I think of a hybrid, I think of a cheap car with minimal features. However, the Ford Fusion Energi Titanium is not that. As you can see, from rain-sensing wipers to cooled seats to 22 buttons on the steering wheel, this car definitely has a lot of features. In fact, this is what makes me sad about Ford not making cars anymore. They truly can build a great car. Sure, this car has its flaws, but for its price, I'm not sure that it can be beaten. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Thank you.